So let's talk about that's the back end. Now let's talk about the front end, because the way you talked about it, Judge Gonzales, and the way that it's written here in the report from the pieces that I've been able to read through very quickly. When I'm reading it, it sounds an awful lot like the rationale that has, unfortunately, from my perspective, been reduced to what people are looking at as quote unquote defund the police, when what really people are talking about is redirecting monies that go to the front end that you were talking about, Judge Gonzales, and moving them into other areas where they would be of better use. So, General Lynch and Judge Gonzales, I would love for you both to talk about why it's important for the criminal justice system to operate in a more rational way. In that, let's say, for instance, we've seen instances of people with mental health issues where the police are called, when really a mental health professional should be the one who goes to the scene and deals with that situation. General Lynch.
Jonathan, you've hit the nail on the head, and Judge Gonzales expressed this so well earlier. Those of us who work in the criminal justice system have known for a long time that many of the people who move through that system are suffering from mental health issues as well as severe drug-related and addiction issues that manifest themselves as criminal activity, but are rooted in this kind of trauma that we're talking about. And no one is talking about not holding people accountable for the harms that they cause, but we are talking about what are the ways that we can actually keep individuals who are in the grip of this trauma safe from themselves, and how do we keep society safe from the challenges that they do cause. And we've always known as well that our jails and our prisons right now have become this nation's largest mental health institutions. If you talk to anyone who works in that system, they've known this for a long time, and they know the challenges of it, and they will step up and deal with that because that's what we've asked them to do. But they are fundamentally not suited for this role. We are leaving people in the lurch, so to speak, both those who are suffering from mental health issues and severe addiction, and those whom we have tasked to keep them incarcerated. And so this has led to a whole host of issues. It manifests itself via COVID with the increased density and increased numbers in our system. But we've always sort of had this play in the system that has let us continue to act in this way, to continue to use the criminal justice system to deal with issues, particularly of severe mental health, and individuals who in crisis do act out and do cause problems and cause harm. So not only and what we see is the intersection of this issue. Not only would this do a great deal towards reducing density in the criminal justice system, it would also provide true help and support for individuals who are suffering through some significant trauma. It would allow law enforcement to step back from the role that they have taken on that creates a great deal of tension in our society. The interaction between law enforcement and mentally disturbed individuals often leads to truly tragic outcomes, harm or death of these individuals. And these are situations where, these are not the situations where we see, a traffic stop gone bad. This is a situation where a family member has called the police because they are literally at the end of their rope. They're not able to handle the issues that the family member presents, and they don't have anyone else to call. And so what we've done is we've told the police to manage this, and they manage it by dealing with the threat that the person presents. And by then, we've often lost that person. We have another police shooting. We have a family torn apart. We have a community enraged. And it has often been because we have used this one tool, law enforcement, to deal with a myriad of issues. So we have an opportunity to look at this and to see it's not just in relation to COVID, but as we think about policing in this country, which we have to do. We have to do for racial justice issues. We have to do for public health issues. We have to do for budget issues. I mean, people are talking about defunding the police as a choice. It's about to happen as a matter of necessity because of the economic travails that so many municipalities find themselves in. But as we think about the larger issue of public safety in this country, how do we keep everyone safe, including individuals who are suffering from trauma, particularly mental health trauma? We've got to figure out, what do they really need? What's the best response? And how do we deploy that?
Judge Gonzales, I see you nodding. Join in.
Well, I think the phrase defund the police, I think has become sort of an unnecessary distraction. We need law enforcement. I think every community wants the protection from law enforcement, but I think we all have to admit it's imperfect, and there are mistakes that are being made. And I think moving money around within the criminal justice system just makes sense. I've said often, and I think General Lynch would agree, we can't overcome the problems in our criminal justice system by incarcerating more people and by spending more money. It doesn't work. We know that now, and we have to be smarter in the way that we allocate shrinking budgets because of COVID. I think the challenge is going to be even greater for our political leaders in deciding the best way to provide safety for our communities in terms of health, but also safety with respect to law enforcement. So there's some very serious challenges that we've got to deal with. And, how we talk about this does make a difference as far as I'm concerned.